Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you for taking another one of my classes. If this is your first class of mine that you're taking, welcome. My name is Lauren. I've designed this flow specifically created to correct posture. If you feel like the posture is quite heavy, you just have naturally rounded shoulders. And then we're also going to get into the hips, just opening everything in the points where usually we hold tension the most. So it's really nice, quick 20-minute flow. So you can join me on your mat whenever you're ready. We're going to begin this flow sitting on your mat in a nice comfortable child's pose. So send your knees out as wide as the mat and lower down, extending your arms out in front of you. Allow your forehead to meet the mat. Close down your eyes and just begin to settle into a nice comfortable tone and rhythm with your breath. Really focus in on how your body feels at the beginning of the practice. Sending your breath into your lower back, into your hips, and then just gently start to bring some movement into your hips without leaving the child's pose position. Just slightly send it right to left. Really subtle, almost like a roll with the hips, side to side. And then bring yourself back to a still neutral position. Exhale and come up to a tabletop. From your tabletop, you're just going to extend your arms and again push your chest down to the mat, coming into our puppy pose position. Feeling a nice stretch and opening all through the chest and the shoulders. And as you inhale, bring yourself back up to all fours once again and slowly start to move through a few cat-cow positions. As you inhale, send your gaze up to the sky, drop your belly to the mat. And then exhale, reverse everything, curve your spine, tuck your chin to your chest, and inhale to repeat. Moving through cat-cow in your own time and own rhythm, depending on what your body is feeling like. And from this position, either continue with cat-cow or take a few circles with the body, circles the wrists, just around one way and the other. Really just loosen out your whole body and get some mobility movement into the spine. As we incorporate some full body circles, just begin to send your weight over around the wrists and then exhale to push your hips all the way back to your heels before sending it forward again, creating a circular motion with your body. Gently bringing yourself back to neutral. Inhale to tuck your back toes and walk yourself back onto your heels, kneeling on your knees and sitting right up onto your heels. Bring your heels really together. Roll your shoulders up and back, just checking in with that posture that is nice and long. Interlace your fingers in front of you and then flip your palms to face away from you, really curving your spine, pushing your body away, stretching through those shoulders. Exhale to swap the hands, send them behind you, interlace the fingers again and push them towards the ground so you're opening your chest to the ceiling. Really inviting the energy of the room in and just sending your gaze all the way up. Exhale to release your hands. Repeat once again, so interlace your fingers in front of you and push your palms away, allowing your spine to curve, tucking your chin to your chest. Really feel a nice opening through the upper back. And then exhale, swing your arms around, interlace your fingers and push them away from you towards the mat, opening the chest. Inhale to release your hands, shake them out, check in with your posture, and then you can come off your heels, so untuck your toes and just come up to a nice kneeling position. Inhale to lift your arms up and overhead, lifting out of the hips, and then exhale, side out through the mouth, release your arms down by your side. From here, you're going to send your weight into your right side body, release your left knee, and slowly and with control, bring that left knee all the way in front of you, eventually stepping into a low runner's lunge. But you just want to hover in the middle. While you're doing so, you're going to fall out of balance, and then eventually step the knee up, lean forward, drop the back knee, inhale to sweep your arms up and overhead, reaching for a back bend, and then drop the left hand down by your side, reach over with the right arm. Exhale, curve the body forward, plant your palms on either side of the front leg, tuck the back toes, release the back knee, and take a moment in our runner's lunge. opening the hips, breathing into the hip flexor. Exhale to release the front knee back. Take a moment in our plank and we'll move through a vinyasa, lowering either knees, chest and chin, or through your chaturanga, meeting in our baby cobra. Releasing the neck side to side. Lower your chest gently down to the mat. Send your knees wide as the yoga mat. Push up and back. Send your hips to sit on your heels. Coming back into our child's pose once again for a quick moment. Taking a nice deep inhale to walk yourself back up onto your heels once again, pushing your hips up to that kneeling position, and we'll repeat on the other side. So this time you're leaning your weight into your left side. Inhale to sweep your arms up and overhead, and exhale, side out through the mouth, release. Weight in the left side here. You're going to release your right knee. Allow it to just hover for a moment. Check in with your balance. It's okay if you're wobbly here. And then eventually, slowly with control, bring your knee all the way up. Step it up to the top of your mat. Lower your hips down towards the mat and sweep your body down to come up, sending your arms up to the ceiling, just reaching for a slight back bend before releasing your right arm down to the mat and extending your left arm overhead for a nice side body stretch all through the left side. Curve your spine to release your body down over the front leg. Plant your palms on either side of the front foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and come into a nice strong runner's lunge. Send the breath and the energy into those hip flexors, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And then eventually from here, you're going to plant your palms, step your back foot up to the top of your mat, and then step your 2 feet as wide as your yoga mat. And then lower deep into our squat, coming into our malasana pose. So you want to bring your hands together in prayer in front of your chest and allow your elbows to sit on the inside of your knees and just gently give them a nice push to create some tension and allow that to help open the hips and get a nice deeper stretch into the hips. As you exhale in this position, release your hands down to the mat, plant the palms, and then stretch the legs, all coming into a forward fold. Inhale to bend the knees, exhale to stretch, opening into the hamstrings. Inhale to bend, and exhale, stretch. Inhale, fingertips come to the shins, lifting for a halfway lift, really straighten through that flat back. And exhale, fold, generously bend into the knees as you plant the palms. Step the left foot back, followed by the right. Take a moment in your plank before sending the hips high for a nice downward dog. Stretch into the downward dog here. Whatever you need, pedal the heels. Aiming to get your chest as close to your thighs. And just take some deep breaths in downward dog. Ground into your right foot here as you swing your left leg high to the ceiling. And then just bend into your left knee in the air. Let it hang over the right side. Take some circles with the ankles. And then inhale to straighten into that leg. Bend the knee, bring it down and swing it all the way up into the chest. And stepping the foot up again for your runner's lunge. Inhale from here to sweep the arms up and overhead. Coming into that high crescent lunge. Take a moment to find your balance. And there's always that option in crescent lunge if you want to drop the back heel. If you want to challenge yourself further, see can you lower slightly further into that front leg. Inhale, sweep the body down to come up, bring the arms overhead and then reach it for a slight back bend. Coming back up to neutral spine and exhale, lower with control on your back knee. We're just going to lower the hips slightly further to the mat, just really stretch into those hip flexors. And then release the hands down in front of you. So you want to heel toe the front leg slightly out to the edge of your mat. Coming onto your hands for a nice lizard lunge. And again, if you want to get deeper into that hip, lower onto your elbows. And just breathe nicely into that stretch. It's a really good opening for the hips here. On your next exhale, come back up to your hands. Tuck your back toe and then swing your back foot up to the top of your mat. Again, coming into that malasana pose. So stepping it out wide, lowering your hips. Really strong through your spine as you extend your arms out in front of you. Just checking in with that posture and strengthening the back. Once again, bring your hands into prayer. Drop them down to your mat and straighten into those legs. From here, just step it back into a nice downward dog as we reset to do the other side. Right leg releases high to the ceiling for a three-legged dog. And in the air, just bend that knee, opening the hip, allowing it to hang in the air, circling the ankle, creating some mobility. And then inhale to stretch the leg in the air one more time before bending the knee, bringing the upper body into plank and swinging that knee into the chest, stepping it up into that runner's lunge. Engage your inner thighs and core to sweep your arms up and overhead, coming into that high crescent lunge. Option again to drop the back heel, or further challenge yourself and lower deep into that front knee. Engaging your core, really lifting high through your posture, strong back. Exhale, sweep your arms down and forward to come back up. And then reaching out of the hips for a back bend. Really nice, lowering with control on that back knee. Sending your hips lower to the mat, placing your hands on your glutes just to give a further push into that stretch. And then release your hands, plant them on the inside of the front foot, so heel toe that front foot out, and whether you want to stay in your hands or come down to your elbows, whichever variation is most comfortable you, for a nice lizard pose. And once again, coming back up onto your hands, tucking that back toe, lifting the knee off, and then stepping the front foot back to meet it, coming into our plank pose for a slight moment before lowering into a vinyasa. Reaching up for a baby cobra and lifting the hips all the way up, coming into our downward dog. Taking a few moments here in downward dog. Move through 3 to 5 deep breath cycles. Inhaling through the nose and sighing it out through the mouth. From downward dog, bend into your right knee, step it up into your runner's lunge, and from here pivot your whole body onto the long edge of your mat. Lower your hips and come into a low side lunge, pointing through your extended leg. Lower the shoulders away from the ears, and then plant your palms on the mat, bend into both knees, lift your hips and walk yourself over, bending into the other leg. So your right leg is straight, your left leg is bent. Really straighten through your posture here, engage your back, strong through your spine and your core to help you stay lifted. Once again, plant the palms, bend into that both knees and walk yourself over the other side. We're going to repeat this series once each side, but this time, if you can, try and hold your hands out. So push them out in front of you. Inhale to really use your legs to lift off, to move through the center, and send yourself over to the other side. And then once again, inhale, lift yourself back to the original side. And then exhale, plant your palms, straighten into your legs, heel toe your feet in slightly, and then with a wide stance, loosen everything and roll up to standing, vertebrae by vertebrae. Shake everything out, come to a nice standing position. Your feet are slightly wider than your hips here. Inhale to sweep your arms up and overhead, join your palms together and lower them to sit in front of the chest center. As you engage your core and your back, you're going to exhale to lower your hips, coming into a nice low squat, but your knees are pointing outwards, trying to get everything in a 90-degree position. Sitting in this squat, inhale to sweep your arms up and overhead once more, and then as you exhale, lower your arms into a cactus position at 90 degrees. Inhale to lift everything to standing, straighten the legs, straighten the arms, and then exhale once again to lower into that nice seated position, nice goddess pose. Inhale to lift, straighten everything out, and then exhale, lower, pulling the arms down by your sides, knees over ankles, and really just engaging your core, using your inner thighs. Nice. Inhale to straighten the legs, turn the feet in and fold over the front body. Clasp the elbows and just sway side to side, releasing the lower back, shaking the head yes and no, and be careful to hold no tension in the neck. Release the jaw. Plant the palms now, and you can heel toe the feet in completely. Find your way to the top of the mat, and then just get into a comfortable forward folding position. Generously bend into the knees here, and then in your own time roll up to standing vertebrae by vertebrae. We'll meet in a nice mountain pose when you're ready. Standing strong, checking in with your posture in this mountain pose, splaying the palms forward. And then slowly as you inhale, sweep the shoulders up to the ears and roll them back. Repeat this, bring them forward, send them up, and then drop them as you lower them down. Repeat one more time, a nice light shoulder roll. And then this time, bring your fingertips to touch the tops of your shoulders, and then create little circles with your elbows. Really opening into that space with each circle. Give more space to the shoulders and opening the chest. And then extending to full arms, so creating full circles with your arms. Really getting into that shoulder mobility. Bending into the knees as you sweep the arms up. And then release it, shake everything out. Be careful not to hold tension anywhere. And then we'll repeat the other way. So as you come back to your standing position, send your shoulders back, up and down. Repeating 2 to 3 shoulder rolls in the opposite direction which you just carried out. As you exhale, place your fingertips on your shoulders now and then use your elbows to sweep them back, up and around. And once again, 2 to 3 small circles. And then extend your arms, sweeping them back, opening the chest, opening the core, not holding tension anywhere, and just creating as much space with your body as you can. Bring yourself back down to neutral and just allow yourself to swing side to side with the legs, with the arms. Shake everything out as you, once again for the last time, come back to our mountain pose. Stand strong, take up space with your stance, splay the palms forward. And then inhale to sweep the arms up and overhead, reaching forward for a forward fold. Bend generously into the knees and then allow your hips to lower completely to the mat with control. Scoot yourself halfway back on your mat and straighten your legs out in front of you. Sitting up tall with a long spine, engaging your core as you splay your arms out in front of you and then slowly begin to roll down until your back is completely flat on the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae, with control. When you get to a full lying position, just shake your hips side to side, release everything out and take a moment to check in that you're not gripping anywhere. Shake the ankles and the wrists. And then in your own time, find a nice comfortable Shavasana. We're going to take a minute or two in Shavasana. If you have the option to take more time, I would recommend that. But if this is all the time you have, just close down your eyes, focus on listening to your breath, release your jaw, and release your forehead and that area between your eyebrows. As you might find that your breath begins to slow down, just really focus on sending the inhale through the nose, allowing the belly to rise. And then as you exhale, just let it fall, releasing all the tension with every exhale. And then gently begin to wiggle your hands, place your hands on your hips once again, and then move through a slight rocking of the hips. It'll be very subtle, you don't want to lift your hips off the mat. Just bringing some slow movement and mobility into the hips. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Send one knee into the chest and then the other. Clasp the knees and rock side to side, just giving a gentle massage to the lower back. In your own time, rock over to a side of your choice into a fetal position. Where we'll gently find our way up to seated position, coming onto our mat into a cross leg, a nice Sukhasana pose. And we'll join together here to end our practice. Bringing your hands together in front of the heart center and bowing your head, whether you set an intention for your class or if you just want to take a moment of gratitude now. Thank you so much for showing up again, and I hope you enjoyed.